Tony, this is about to be badass. We got Road Warrior Hawk wrestling against Ming here. It's a singles match. But when Road Warrior Hawk comes out with the crazy hair, the crazy face paint, jacked to the gills, and these classic spiked shoulder pads, all I can think about is in an alternate universe, and don't get me wrong, it was so great what they did as a tag team. But this guy was a top single star waiting to happen. Was he not?
Yes, he was. As a matter of fact, Ric Flair faced him, I think, at the very first Bunkhouse Stampede in Long Island. The same night they had the cage match, Flair and Road Warrior Hawk. Everybody knew that Road Warrior Hawk had the potential to be a big time star. He had the look, he had the talk, he was a badass. And we have two legitimate badasses in right now, which is always fun to watch, you know, because you think, is one of them going to get mad?
Yes.
And if they do, what's going to happen?
Meltzer would say Hawk's entrance drew the first big pop entrance pop of the show. Even with the angle before the show, the match got no heat once the bell rang, except when Hawk popped up after Ming's pile driver. Hawk's offense looks bad, and his ability to sell is legendary. They did a pull apart afterwards. Two recognizable faces in the pull apart were Ricky Santana and Jeff Gaylord. And he gives it a quarter star. So here's the pile driver, and let's see just immediately. Hawk is on his feet before Ming. That's amazing.
Yeah. It is.
Yeah, in an alternate universe, dude, can you imagine like Hawk versus Hulk Hogan if Hawk was a heel? Like Hawk versus Hulk Hogan at a WWF pay-per-view and say 87, 88, 89, 90. That's super believable.
Damn right it is.
And even, here, I mean, I know they went with Sting in 90, and certainly in 91 they went with Luger. But like in 89, Hawk could have beat Flair for the big gold belt and fans would have bought it.
Well, of course they would have.
Would have been great.
Yeah, I don't see why they didn't do it. I mean, nothing. Listen, Ronnie Garvin was great, but if you're going to give Ronnie Garvin a shot, why not give Hawk, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So smart me up here. Where's Animal this time? Something wrong?
This is when he's off doing he's faking the back injury to collect the Lloyd's of London money.
Oh, well, there you go.
Rajiv is with us here live, and he says, does Tony believe when they would do pre-shows for pay-per-views in WCW that actually led to some buys? If so, does he think it was substantial enough to continually do the pre-shows? 1, 2.
I don't know.
3. Tony Schiavone's frozen. Maybe he'll get the internet going again here in a minute.
Does he think it was substantial enough to continually do the pre-shows then?
Did it sell any fucking pay-per-views, Tony?
I don't know. I don't know the numbers if it sold any, but you always got to do a pre-show. You always got to give it a shot. I mean, you've got the lights, you got the cameras, you got the ring, you got the crowd. You might as well get them warmed up for the show and have a pre-show to get some buys. If you don't, you're doing something wrong.
So you believe in it? You think it worked?
I think the effort works. Whether it really works or not, I don't know.
Bryant says, JR said he wanted Muta to be the world champion and build around him when he came to WCW, but WCW wouldn't because he was foreign. Do you think Muta would have been a dominant champion in WCW? So if you think back to, we'll call it 1989, do you think they could have went with Muta as a foreign heel champion and have baby faces chasing?
Yes, I do. I don't know if he could have been a dominant champion, but he would have been a good one.
Yes.
And he would have had a good run, and there would have been some great matches out of it. I really believe in that. And, again, Muta in his prime was basically during the time I was in the WWE. And that wasn't the greatest shoulder tackle in the world, but what the hell? But yeah, I thought he would have been a good champion. Dominant champion, I don't know.
Talking about our conversation earlier about what ifs, you asked about Stone Cold, and you said, hey, if he would have stuck around WCW and come up with Austin 316 and middle fingers and beers and all that, would he have been as successful in WCW? And that led to Devin Dowling saying, what if Stone Cold jumped to face the NWO in 1998? Now, hypothetically, once he'd become the world champion and gotten the rub off of Mike Tyson, if somehow, some way, Vince let Stone Cold slip away towards the end of the year.
Yeah.
And he wound up jumping over to WCW.
Yeah.
I could totally see him running roughshod around WCW at that point once he was established. But I think that was the key, is that he was never going to become that star with WCW, not because he didn't have the talent, just because I don't believe he would have been given the opportunity.
Right. Because of Hulk Hogan being the star in WCW.
Yeah, I mean, respectfully, it was tried and true, and it worked. I know that people really hate Hulk Hogan to these days. I get it, don't care. But I'm just saying, like, the reason the business turned around is Hulk Hogan turning heel.
Of course.
Everything changed because of that. So, I know that eventually Stone Cold's numbers would eclipse Hogan, but without Hogan turning heel and becoming the leader of the NWO, I don't know that any of that shit ever is given an opportunity to flourish. I could be wrong, but it's what got WCW so hot, and it's what had Vince start trying new things. And I know some people like to be revisionist about this, but as a reminder, when they brought Steve Austin into WWE, he was running around with Ted DiBiase as his mouthpiece, carrying the $1 million belt.
Right.
$1 million champion wasn't ever going to do shit. But that's what Vince saw for him, the ringmaster. Right. He wasn't the ringmaster. He needed to be Steve Williams with the volume turned all the way up, and we got there. Yeah. Antonio Santos says, this is a hard-hitting question. The kinds I know you love, Tony. Would Tony rather have a smelly hog or swamp ass? Would you rather your dick stink or your asshole, Tony?
Well, I think most people's asshole stinks, doesn't it?
No, not true.
No, I didn't know.
Yeah. I've run across a few that did not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, unlike you, I don't go around sticking my nose up people's asses, so I don't know.
When was the last time you got down there and really gave Lois a good sniff? Just
no, never.
No, you just got real serious. Never. It's so immediate. I love you for that. Coach Rosie wants to know, Tony, what's the highest mountain you've climbed?
Kennesaw Mountain. No, actually, that's not true. I climbed. You're going to like this one, okay?
Early in college?
No, you're going to like this because I know how you think. Not going to say it.
No, you have to. You can't do that. That's against the rules, Tony.
Look up on the internet. Put in your Google machine.
I'm ready. I got the Google out.
What's the highest mountain in Virginia? It's Mount Rogers, right? Is it Mount Rogers?
Mount Rogers.
Yeah, what's the second highest?
What's the second highest mountain in Virginia? How about White Top Mountain?
Okay, that's still not it.
What about awesome Beartown?
No.
Beartown Grave Mountain?
No. Point
Lookout Mountain?
No.
Elliott Knob?
That's it.
Okay. Well, it took us a while. Fuck. All right. So the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The seventh highest mountain. Oh, Elliott Knob.
So if somebody asked you to say, what's the highest mountain you climb? I would have said Elliott's Knob. You would have said, what?
Yeah. Here's the best part. If you just pull it up in your Google machine and you go to Wikipedia, it says Elliott Knob is a popular day hike of 14 miles for Boy Scouts who attend Camp Shenandoah.
That's it.
Did you go up there with some Boy Scouts?
No. We've just been up there many times, and it's a pretty good view from up there.
SaveWithConrad.com.
Yeah, I'm Justin Gruffin from Knoxville, Tennessee. What got me to Save with Conrad was the 83 Weeks podcast. I really wasn't thinking about getting rid of any debt. I just wanted to cash out some equity in the house to do remodeling. But I did both, so that was pretty awesome. Worked out great. Redid the foyer, built pantry space, and there's little odds and ends when I first bought the house that I wanted to take care of, and we were able to take care of it. So, yeah, paid off 2 cars and some credit card debt. So probably all in all, getting $30,000 in that, and then I got some $30,000 more equity out of the house, and got still plenty of equity left over. So payment's good. I lowered my interest rate. I'm in a much better spot than I was. Super easy. Everybody was great. Very, very awesome people. Francis and Steve were great to work with. They're awesome. Made it for a very easy, seamless experience. I'd probably say all in all, probably $1,000 a month at least. I'm lowered my interest rate, especially the way the interest rates are right now, which is, that's amazing. I'm Justin Bruckman from Knoxville, Tennessee. I saved over $1,000 with SaveWithConrad.com, and I did a lot of renovations with that money as well.
NMLS number 2129, Equal Housing Lender. SaveWithConrad.com.